Hi, Brandon Artisan for ShopSMART Autos. Have something that I want to share with you was a question that came in from a consumer, and let's address it. The question was, I'm looking to buy a used car during the pandemic. So, is everyone in my particular situation? Great question. Used cars are usually overlooked in the fanfare according to cutting edge electric cars and also some of the gussied up pickup trucks. Now they are suddenly the industry's hottest commodity. And here's what I mean: consumers are snapping up used cars as a second, third car so they can avoid trains, buses, Ubers, anything during this coronavirus pandemic. Others are buying used rather than new to save money in an uncertain economy, not knowing where they're going to be, where their spouse may be as far as employment. But the demand for older cars have also been fed by roughly 2 months of halt in production of the new cars this spring, and we know we've heard and read about those. So across the nation, the prices of used cars have shot up. The increase really defies the conventional wisdom that cars are depreciating against the loss of big chunks of value that normally would happen in our retail dealership world. In June alone, the average value of a used car jumped more than 16%. Also, if we look at June going through July, what we found out is that franchise car deals sold 1.2 million cars, trucks. That was up 22% from a year earlier. It was the highest monthly total since at least 2007. So, what are we saying? The boom has turned the business of selling cars upside down. Because used cars don't come from factories in Detroit, dealers are having to work as hard to buy cars as they typically do to sell them. Many dealers say, including running ads and cold calling people and to ask if they would be willing and interested in selling their old vehicle. That's how strong demand is for used cars during this pandemic. So, if we want to think about used cars, think about any make, model, think about any typical family in America trying to do what they can, going online, researching, trying to find this additional vehicle so they don't have to depend on Uber or public transportation. There's a story that the New York Times had in where a particular individual was talking about the money it took to take an Uber to go to restaurants if they were going out with friends and they wanted to drink and have somebody drive them home. But once they looked at event, and added up the money, boy, getting a used car may be better than what I'm currently doing now. And the good thing about it, the automotive industry's equivalent to a three-bedroom ranch with a charming backyard and patio is a low mileage vehicle or SUV. A lot cheaper than the newer versions that you looked at, and definitely a lot more consistent time wise than waiting for an Uber or public transportation to show up. So, boy, what would sound better during a pandemic than going out and getting a used car? Now, keep in mind that some fears might be overdone. Buying a used car does not increase the number of cars on the road. But of course, some people on average are going to feel that with new cars and used cars, it's just going to pound our feral thrills. But in addition, many Americans realize that they don't have to worry. They're buying a trap. In other words, coronavirus, separation, getting Uber, having someone deliver. Do I go out? Wear a mask? Am I safe? It makes some youngsters who weren't there, but they remember reading or hearing about the story from the famed Ralph Nader when he talked about in his famous book in 1965, Unsafe at Any Speed. So today's youngsters are trying to get in front of that. And there's many examples that we can use as far as manufacturers with the prices that are out there. But keep in mind this, before the coronavirus, we did have a love affair with transportation, whether it was Uber, whether it was flying, whether it was taking a train or a subway. Things have changed during COVID. And that's one thing we'll take a look at in the balance of the next series, trying to get you, the consumer, to understand what we as Americans are facing in different parts of the region during the coronavirus. Once again, Brandon Hardison, president of Champion Strategies and spokesperson for ShopSmart Autos. As always, in parting, you go out and you make it a champion.